Hey guys, OG Albino here, bringing you guys our IBA Week 1 battle against Odds Are in his Memphis Brew, whereas Brody is actually the commissioner of the league. He's done a million, pieces of graphics for the channel. He's a very talented dude. You definitely go check out his channel. I believe he'll be uploading this at the same time that we are uploading this, so definitely go check out his side. Please drop him a sub, drop him a like, show him support on his side. That would really mean the world to me. Thank you guys for doing that if you do. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. I do want to do a quick little team builder just so you can see what we're bringing, why we're bringing in, all that good stuff. Just so you have a little bit of background knowledge going into the match and all that good stuff. So, our team, if you haven't caught our draft analysis that went up last week, consists of Salazzle, Alolan Persian, Superior, Mega Diancie, Frogadier, Golbat, Porygon Z, Komodo, Seismitoad, Celesteela, and Reuniclus, while our opponent's team consists of Zygarde 10%, Pyroar, Zapdos, Mega Medicham, Klefki, Garbodor, Chestnut, Tyranitar, Piloswine, Swadloon, and Slowbro. Now, right off the bat, biggest threat to us, Mega Medicham. I know we have a Reuniclus, which is probably one of the best checks in the game, but it's not very reliable over the course of the game, especially when you're playing against a T-Tar Medic team. So that's obviously very scary to us. Zydog can get area out of hand very fast. We don't have great arrows resistance Superior, and I didn't think Superior was the best in this matchup, so I ended up leaving him on the bench. But yeah, we don't have great switch-ins to Zygarde, that's for sure. We don't have great switch-ins to offensive dragons in general because our fairy is Mega Diancie, and that obviously doesn't want to take 1,000 arrows, that's for sure. Other than that, though, I think we can handle the majority of our opponent's team. It's just mainly making sure we take care of that Medicham and that Zygarde. The T-Tar is also very scary to switch into. If it's like Bantar, then that can potentially be a little bit scary, but other than that, I think we do take it on pretty well. It is one of his Z captains, along with, I believe, Zygarde 10%, so we'll have to keep that in mind. And yeah, let's kind of just go over our team really quick. So, as you can see, we have a 3-attack substitute, Mega Diancie, 92 HP, 236 special attack, and 180 speed. This Pokemon goes in versus Brody 2. It KOs the entirety of his team, if not OHKOs most of it. Sub is to see if we can potentially get behind a sub on a switch or something like that, so that we cannot be bullet punch revenged by Mega Medicham, because they can pretty easily reliably revenge kill us in all instances, basically, whenever it comes in, so we'll have to be careful around that. But other than that, our stabs plus earth power hit the entirety of Brody's team, so that's obviously great for us. Next up, we have a physically defensive Reuniclus with Psychic, Calm Mind, Focus Blast, and Recover. This thing is our Mega Medicham check, but it is also a great T-Tar lure to potentially get it to +1. Kill that thing at +1 with a Focus Blast if it's not Chocolate itself, if it tries to pursue us, if it tries to crunch us, anything like that, we will be able to take it on, which is obviously super nice. But this thing is going to be our main Mega Medicham check. It's a roll for double it to 2-hit KO, so we do have to be careful about that. But other than that, we should be in a pretty good spot there against Big Medi. Next up, we got a defensive Celesteela, rocking out the leftovers, Beast Boost its ability, Flash Cannon, Air Slash, Lead Seed, and Protect, 244 HP, 100 defense, 108 special attack, 12 speed F, and 44 speed with a bold nature. Now, this thing is a good catch-all check to a lot of Brody's offense. It's a good check to Mega Medicham because we can always eat one hit. It's a good check to Slowbro, it's a good check to T-Tar, it's a good check to Zydog, because we're going to take neutral from it at first. It's just a very annoying mon for him, especially if we start getting up some defense boosts and like get rid of Zapdos. This thing can be very annoying for him to end up taking down and all that good stuff. So I think this is very nice. Next up, we have our Seismitoad, rocking out the leftovers, Water Absorb as its ability, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and Ice Punch, 148 HP, 28 attack, 252 defense, 44 speed F, and 36 speed with an Impish nature. Now, this is going to be our rocker this week. This is most importantly going to be our Zydog check. I apologize for the green screen being a little crappy. I'm recording this late at night, and like the lighting in my room is pretty awful right now. I'm just noticing how blurry that looks and how I like turn different colors right now. But hopefully I'll try and pick it before the game starts. But there's gonna be a rocker. This is most importantly going to be our Zygarde check. Zygarde is very annoying versus our team. So we're gonna have to keep this guy healthy. We're not too KO'd by Adamant Zygarde if it's banded. Which obviously is super nice after lefties, that's for sure. So Seismitoad is here just to kind of slow down that beast. Next up, we have our Porygon Z. We're rocking out with a Choice Scarf. Adaptability is its ability, Tri-Attack, Hidden Power, Fighting, Trick, and Shadow Ball. 20 HP, 248 special attack, and then 240 speed with a modest nature. Now, obviously, these IVs and stuff like that will be fixed in the game, so don't worry about that. But this Pokemon goes crazy once we can get rid of the T-Tar, and I think we can lure in the T-Tar with our Reuniclus early in the game, and just take it out with a Focus Blast, and from there, go crazy with Go Crazy, the Porygon Z. I think this thing really does just kind of win the game if we can eliminate that T-Tar. Klefki obviously does not want to take hits, and then Tri Attack pretty much just bodies the rest of Brody's team. So I think Porygon Z is great here. And then lastly, we have more so our best win con this game. That's going to be a Lumberry Mo-O with the Overcoat ability. There wasn't really anything bulletproof or soundproof that I really needed on this guy, so I went with Overcoat just to avoid Sand Chip. Clinging Scales, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, and Autotomize, 20 HP, 4 Defense, Force for Death, 244 Special Attack, and 236 Speed with a modest nature. Now this thing, provided we get sufficient chip on some things, I think it does really, really well in the end game. We need to chip down Slowbro and kind of scout and see what its set is. We need to chip down Klefki or Lumberry so that thing can't T-Wave us, which is obviously super, super nice. We chip down Zapdos. And that's about it. For the rest of the team, we can pretty easily beat 1v1. We need to chip down Garbodor if it comes, I guess, I suppose, as well. Other than that, this thing goes crazy, and I'm hoping it does well. And yeah, with that being said, let's jump right into the game. Alright guys, here we are with the battle. Now, this feels really weird doing post-coms. I haven't done this in a minute, especially on Gen 7. This is pretty crazy. But you can see the team that Brody elected to bring. He went with the Slowbro, the Zapdos, the Zydog, the Chestnut, Tyranitar, and Mega Medicham. Now, right off the bat, I felt my best lead was Mega Diancie because I felt it could put on a ton of pressure onto my opponent's team, at least very early on, and potentially do a lot of damage to him. So what we're going to do is we're going to league Mega Diancie, and we're going to kind of just go from there because it should, in theory, beat every member of his team 1v1. There's going to be a little bit of stack until, okay, cool. Woo! So we're challenged by Pokemon Trainer. Odds are good luck, have fun to him. Let's have a good one. He's going to lead off with Slowbro. This is probably the worst lead for Mega Diancie, but what I'm going to do, because I don't really need HP on Diancie in this matchup, I really don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quick substitute. I wanted to scout for a Toxic, expecting my incoming Seismitoad. I felt like that was very important to have and check and, you know, scout for and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is Mega Evolve and sub down, just to see if he wants to get a little cheeky and try and talk to me on a switch. So it's a very aggressive play, but it's a play I can see Brody make, because he knows that I don't kill this in one, and I probably shouldn't want to stay in, but he is just going to end up going for the Scald. This is fine. Like I said, I don't really need health on my Mega DNC, and I do apologize if it is a little blurry. We'll be able to do Citra replays next week. It's just I kind of got all the stuff set up afterwards I played the game, and I couldn't really, you know, get the Citra just due to, like, you know, the DS I was using and, you know, what has it, a lot of different stuff. So after this, I'm going to pivot out into the Reuniclus. The reason is because I wanted to scout for this Grass Knot. I didn't want to let my my Seismitoad get toxic on that turn either. So I figured Reuniclus was pretty drawback free, especially because I could set up all over this thing. What I'm going to do is go for a Calm Mind, as he does switch in the T-Tar. Now right here, we're going to get up to +1, which is obviously fantastic, because now at +1 we should kill any non-choppable T-Tar, unless it's like max for death. Which is obviously nice. Or I don't think we kill AV either. Now, right here, this is a very interesting set of plays because I talked to Brody after the game, and it actually turns out that he was a Darkinium Z Tyranitar. Now, in my head, I was thinking, even if he goes for a Crunch and he's max Adamant or something like that, I should be out of range of Medicham, so I can potentially still play around it in that way. If he goes for a Pursuit, that's even better for me, so I'm just going to click Focus Blast. Brody is going to end up clicking Pursuit. Now, the reason this probably wasn't his, but let me move my mouse. The reason this probably wasn't his best play is because even if I switched out, even if I switched out, he got a lot of damage on some other things, and he couldn't risk me potentially being choppable. I hadn't shown any items, so I figured him getting the big damage off on me with a Crunch or what happened to be Z Crunch is probably his best play, because then Medicham went crazy. Speaking of the Medicham, he elects to go into it here, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is my check. This is my switching. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click Recover, see what this thing wants to go for. I am out of range of a Double Edge, and eventually, if he keeps spamming Double Edge, he will put himself into range of a +1 Psychic. So that is going to be my play here, as he actually chooses to go for a High Jump Kick. And that's going to do a lot of damage. That's going to do a ridiculous amount of damage, showing that he is 100% max Adamant at Medicham. So he got really aggressive with his speed, which definitely makes sense, because the way his speed tiers are and how lopsided and wonky they are, there's no reason I was running. He needed to run Jolly, you know, based on what I was running. So he's an Adamant Mega Medicham, but the way he's you know, playing it is telling me he's not actually Double Edge, because if he had Double Edge, he'd click it. There's no way that he's you know, trying to predict me to switch out of my Psychic type on the Fighting type. So my play here, like I said, I'm gaining back HP, is to just spam recover until this thing is put in range. Unfortunately, he is going to miss. This was kind of bound to happen if he continuously stayed in and clicked this button, in all honesty. I wish I would have psychic that turn, because this thing would be gone at this point, but obviously, hindsight 2020, I can't, predict him to miss. And as he is going to switch out this turn, and whatever switches in is going to take a fat +1 psychic from my Reuniclus, as he does end up going Zapdos. And you can tell Brody's, he's playing around this thing a little bit iffy. You can tell he's kind of panicking a little bit because it's a setup Reuniclus, and that can always be a little bit scary. But my play right here is to just kind of click Psychic, and as he, recovers up again, or potentially clicks a move, he clicks Toxic right here, not realizing that I didn't take Sand Chip. That's just kind of a hindsight thing. You gotta, make sure you're paying attention when you're playing Reuniclus. The Sand Chip would have told him that I was either, no Sand Chip would have told him that I'm, more than likely Magikarp, but I could have also been, whatchamacallit, even Overcoat, but I definitely wasn't Regen right there. So he is going to try and Toxic us as we get up another Calm Mind, and this is phenomenal. The reason this is phenomenal is because of the fact that he does have the Zygarde in the back, and if he would have wanted the Zygarde first on this thing, I would have switched out, because I was 2-hit KO by Banded, depending on the move that he clicked, and I still had a healthy check in the back, and +1 Psychic does not knock out Zygarde. So I need to get to +2 to knock that thing out, and now I can do that, and it's much more possible. So he is going to end up going for a Thunderbolt. Absolutely bounces off of Reuniclus here, as I am going to go for a Psychic, and unfortunately not pick up the KO, but he should not be able to continuously boost off this damage, especially with the chance of getting some F drops. It is a losing battle for him at this point. So he is going to elect to go for another Thunderbolt, as I believe I just recover up to get as healthy as humanly possible, because I knew that he'd be doing a fair few amount of damage to us, and I know he can't pair us or anything like that because he chose to Toxic us, so it was pretty safe in that regard. I'm going to get back up to completely full, and I know I can knock him out with a Psychic in the next turn. If he wants to Roost, again, I win that battle 1v1 100% of the time, even if he ends up critting us once, as long as we're smart with our recover turns. So he's going to go for an Air Cutter, potentially trying to nab a flinch, which is fair, as we do go for a Psychic and knock out the Zapdos. So Reuniclus is putting in overtime at this point, going above and beyond the Call of Duty, as he does go into the Zygarde. Now, like I said before, I did need +2 to knock this thing out. However, I did not take banded hits from this thing very well at all. In hindsight, I probably should have switched out, because I did have a full health Seismitoad in the back to potentially check it. If it kicked Outrage, I should live 2 of those guys, and I still have a Mega DNC, and I still have, the ability to have it locked in and all that good stuff. So unfortunately, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to end up staying in, because I know I can kill the Zygarde, and I know it can never OHKO me, ever. So it is going to end up going for an Outrage. It would have been great if I went Seismitoad and then pivoted DNC or something like that, but I am going to go for a Psychic and clean knock out this Zygarde. So that is 3 for Big Reuni, really putting in overtime, but unfortunately it's very chipped. It's no longer a Medicham check. It's actually going to come out right here, because it is going to have me in range, which is, again, not very fun. So it is going to go for a high jump kick, and Medicham's so strong that it knocks out my freaking Reuniclus from like 40% with an HJK. This is that's one of my favorite monsters to use in draft. It's so ridiculously strong and so ridiculously brain dead. Absolutely love it. But what this does is it gives me a free opportunity to go into my Porygon Z and pick a KO. There is nothing on his team that should be able to take this on at all. He's going to go into the Slowbro right here, and this damage from this Tri-Attack is actually going to reveal that he is AV. However, I do 3-hit KO him, so I do force a KO here. No matter what, I force a KO. So I'm going to go for one more Tri-Attack, put him in range, as he does end up going for a Scald, and unfortunately, you're going to see the tea is hot today, because we're going to catch a burn. This is really unfortunate, because we're slowly being put in range of Medicham's Bullet Punch, which is very unfortunate. At this point, we were actually out of range of it, and I think we just won the game. I really do think we just won the game. But we are going to, just click Tri-Attack one more time, as he does pivot out to get that regen. Definitely fair. Chestnut wasn't doing the most in this game, as he is going to get frozen by my PZ. This doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, obviously, because he would have died in the next one, but what I should have done on this play, and I kind of want to talk about this game in a way that, like, this is where I messed up and this is what I can improve on, regardless of me winning or not. I should have switched on to my DNC to try and take advantage of this. I didn't need health on my DNC, and I outspent this anyways. If I could have gotten in this thing and gotten a sub up against it, that would have been phenomenal. And I would have saved health on PZ, obviously, to potentially better range of a Bullet Punch, because I believe I was a roll at 74 HP. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for one more Tri-Attack, and we are going to clean knock out the Chestnut. So at least that thing's gone, which is very nice for us. which means even our Seismitoad does very, very well in the same game, potentially. He has Grass Knot, the Slowbro, and a Mega Medicham, so maybe not. So he is going to go into the Slowbro. What I'm going to do right here is pivot out, because I know I can't kill this thing, and I know it will kill me back with the Scald, so I'm going to pivot out into my Komodo. Now, this is another big blunder. Not that I made the Komodo play. I don't think the Komodo play was bad at all, especially considering my set. I was Lumberry, and I was, what do you call it? Special. However, I switched this thing in, I got burned. Let's play it. We'll talk about it as it goes. I switched this thing in, obviously. He's going to click Scald, definitely his best play, and he's going to nab his second burn. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, this is fine. I'll just Lumberry it off, and I'll be able to 2-hit KO with Flying Scales, and then be in a pretty solid position afterwards. I won't be too bad. I can even autotomize up in this thing's face. So what I'm going to do is realize I'm lefties, and I looked at the set, and I was sub-Dragon Dance. This is the Komodo from my IBL Season 6 run. Against Clutch in playoffs, I believe. Or it was just a Komodo from IBL Season 6 like a year and a half or like a year ago at this point. Which is so unfortunate. It's insane because this Pokemon did so well and physical Komodo was awful this matchup. That's why I didn't bring it. But what I did is I actually had two Komodos in the same box and I didn't check to see which one was which. They both had the same nickname. They both weren't shiny, so I grabbed the first one I saw, and it was my one from IBL Season 6. And at this point, I'm sweating. I'm thinking in my head, oh damn, I might lose to Medicham. I need to just autotomize up on this thing and then potentially win the game from there. And now I can't. I don't think I can. So we're gonna go into PZ, and what this is gonna allow us to do is pick up a KO. We can't switch out obviously because Medicham gets blown backwards, and this thing doesn't want to take a Shadow Ball next time it comes in either. So we're gonna lock in a Shadow Ball here because it can theoretically clean up if it does not have Bullet Punch. Though I very much so expect him to have it. Like 150%. I'm going to go down to 54 HP. I'm definitely in range of a Bullet Punch. It's pretty much no question at this point how close to in range I am. And I am going to just click Shadow Ball as he clicks Bullet Punch and is going to knock out our PZ. Now, from this position, I still should be in an okay position. Yeah, it should be alright. I'm going to go into Celesteela. I know Sally can anyone hit it from this. And this is where I get a little bit of cold feet playing this game. So I'm doing some calcs, obviously. I want to put myself in the best position to win. I'm doing calcs, and I see that max HP Medicham still dies to a Flash Cannon from here. It 100% dies, because we're very invested. We got a good amount of special attack. And I didn't run a risk a Air Slash miss, because I'm 2-hit KO by this thing, 100%. So what I'm going to do this turn is I'm going to click Flash Cannon. However, he reveals to be double Fighting Stab, and this isn't a bad bring at all. I'm not saying this is a bad bring by Brody, and I don't agree with it or something like that. I just didn't think of it, because I thought that he needed Double Edge on his moveset, and I feel like if he didn't have Double Edge, like if he was double Fighting Stab, then he didn't have enough room for like Double Edge or something like that. But it turns out that Bullet Punch plus Double Edge is 100% incompatible with Gen 7, the way that transfer moves work. So I didn't know that. When I saw Bullet Punch, I should have known that Double Edge was not an option, and I should have Air Slashed this thing, thinking it might potentially have some coverage for me, as it's going to Drain Punch on my Protect, as my video is lagging like crazy right here at the end. I do apologize. Let me move it forward. Okay, so he's going to, let's move it back. I apologize, the video is heck of lagging. Okay, it's going to lag for a minute. But he is going to click Drain Punch on my Protect and then High Jump Kick on my not Protect, unfortunately, and knock out my Celesteela. And in my head I'm thinking, oh, well, I lose. Great game to Brody. Brody absolutely killed it. I'm going to go into Gambunja. I can't knock this thing out after Drain Punches me, even though I know I can live a hit. If he Drain Punches, which he does, he should always win this game because he's going to be able to heal up all of his health and be in a really good spot. However, Big Seismitoad has different plans. He's going to throw out an Earthquake. And in my head, I'm like, damn, I lost. This is really, really demoralizing. And I'm going to get a crit. Big Seismitoad from 3, from downtown at the buzzer, picks up a big crit on Medi, and absolutely just knocks it out, which is really sad for Odds. I do apologize to him. I think he played phenomenally. The early game he played, he didn't play very well. I won't lie. The early game he didn't play very well, but he did a great job in bouncing back and really, setting himself up in an endgame to win. And I played good in the early game, and I played great in the endgame and managing my pieces very well. So, great green to him. I think he played great. It's very unfortunate they end up losing like that, but it is the game we play. We do have that 6% chance every single move we click, and we did get burned twice, so no, we still hacked him out. That's pretty bad. That was pretty bad, but GG's to Brody. Again, he played great. Definitely go check him out. I know he's grinding this season. I know I helped him a lot with his Week 2 team. I know he's looking to upload and really, show his stuff, so please go give him a look I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, be sure to drop a sub. If you're watching the videos and you like them, you might as well drop a sub so you're notified every time they come up. Maybe hit the little bell button, drop a like, all that good stuff. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Later.